Hello, today we're going to talk about ripping and we're going to demonstrate the MusiCHI Ripper. So let's open it. And I have inserted a CD already, which is a French pop song, which has a nice feature for demonstration. If by any chance you do not see anything here, just press this button, Load Tracks, and it will force to go to the CD-ROM and read what's in there. You can also here load and eject the CD. First, let's try to define ripping. Ripping is simply converting what's on a CD with a particular format to a computer audio file. And because you end up with a computer audio file, they need to have a file name and a file location, and respecting the Windows file name convention. And this is a very important point to understand, because how we're going to fabricate the file name. And although the file is not yet created, basically you have to assign tagging information, also known as metadata, prior to ripping, and then the file name will be computed function of this metadata that you inserted. So let's look at it in practice. Here, as you see, there was no metadata introduced, so by default you get the track 01 CDA. CDA is the format of the CD, and we gave an album which name has been computed from his table of content 3db ID. But if you were to rip now, that's all you're going to get. Now the other parameters which are important is where you're gonna attach this newly created file, which is the music folder, the root of the music folder, and a file pattern which gonna compute the files function of the metadata. We previously mentioned that. So here we're gonna use artist, album, track number, title, but you could use other file patterns, just album, track number, etc. Most software do hide that from you, and you end up with having files God knows where. Here with the MusiCHI system, you can choose precisely where and how your file is going to look. Of course, also the medium, if you want a FLAC file or MP3. Our Ripper, prior to rip, will show you the list of files you're going to create if you were to continue ripping. So in this case, we choose the simplest pattern, album, track number, and title or name. And if you had pressed this button and cancel, you will get the root music directory, C user MusiCHI, the album name, and the track number. Of course, this is not very descriptive. That's why you need metadata. The reason why I'm pressing cancel here is if I were to press yes, the ripping would start to take place. So for demonstration purpose, I press cancel so we can experiment with a different file pattern. Now if you were to choose another file pattern, let's double click here, or you can press the change file pattern button right here and get this one, artist, album, track number, etc. Now bear in mind that artist is blank here. So let's rip the CD. And you see it complains. Why? Because you introduced the artist field to compute the file names, and there's nothing in the artist fields. So again, to rip you need a root music directory, a file pattern, and a corresponding metadata values for this file pattern, and an audio format. Now let's go back to the tagging tab and get some metadata here from the internet, from 3db. It recognizes CD, and we're going to put everything. I will go in detail on how to use a data source in another video, because it's beyond the scope right now, it will be too long. So now that we have introduced metadata here from the internet, if we go back to the ripping, as you see here you have information. Now if we keep the same file pattern, artist, album, etc., and we say let's rip, here suddenly you have the artist, the album, etc. Now if we change the file pattern back to the simplest case, the album track number, and you say rip CD and cancel, as you see now you get a different hierarchy, different path. Still the root music directory, just the album and the track name. Then to rip, just press yes, and like any ripper it will start ripping. You can skip a track if there is some scratch, and you can cancel the ripping job altogether. So this video doesn't demonstrate how to rip precisely with the MusiCHI Ripper, but trying to explain really what is ripping and what are the major parameters which influence the process. One thing you should consider is you should always try to keep one CD in one directory altogether. And that's why the file patterns, depending what you choose and what metadata, might break the CD in many places. For example, for a compilation, if the artists are different, or if you have a classical music CD and you choose composers and there are 2 or 3 composers in the same piece. So always try to find the file pattern which will keep a CD altogether, so that you can always go back to the internet and find information about it. I hope that was useful. Thank you very much.